is going on, guys? It's your boy Cash, and today is going to be the first time we do a specific episode of M.F.O. A lot of people have been asking what M.F.O means, even though I discussed it in the 4K video. Now we are at 5K subs, which is like ridiculous, right? So one of the things that I did speak about, and yes, there's going to be a 5K video. I'm working on something behind the scenes that I want to put in that video. So when I get that, I mean, hopefully we don't just jump up to 6K, which would be fucking stupid. I'd love it, but it'd be crazy. I'm not expecting it. I'm still not expecting any of this. Anywho, one of the things that I did say is that I'm gonna start doing like a review process, or pretty much a as you can see, this is just my background. Yeah, I actually have green screen stuff. I have like a roll-up green screen as well. I just don't use it because of the size of my room. It's just really annoying to use. I'm gonna use it when I'm playing console games because I feel like they actually look better. I don't think you need to make it look better for gacha games. I don't know, just maybe because I'm a console head at the end of the day. What the show M.F.O is, or when I'm not necessarily a show, but at least the title, when you see M.F.O in the title, it's going to be an opinion piece. It's going to be me talking about something that I'm either passionate about or want to address, or looking for other people's opinions, which we will now be considering UFOs. So M.F.O is my fucking opinion. UFO is just unidentified fucking opinion. So pretty much that's what you guys drop in the comment section below, and M.F.O is just going to be the video itself. So this video, what we're going to be talking about is gacha games as a whole. Now, something that I find very strange is that when I make a video talking about gacha games, when I make a video not like talking about like the new event that just came out, or this unit, or how to review this unit, or any things like that, I find that I always get some type of kickback. And I've said this time and time again, it's very strange because every other game that I've played, or any other community that I've been in, there's always critiquing of the game. When I play a fighting game, we critique the fighting game. When I play a story-based game, like when you play like Kingdom Hearts, there's critiquing of the story. There's always critiquing. Same thing right now currently with The Last of Us. By the way, if this video gets 300 likes, I will do a M.F.O The Last of Us 2. And it will be, I want to do it like very heavily edited. I want to edit a lot of shit into it. This one's not going to have that much edits in it, to be honest with you, because it's going to be the first episode. I kind of want to try out the platform, the template or whatever. But it's insane to me that when you critique some of the gachas, now it's not that if someone was to say like, let's use The Last of Us as another example. Some people think the game is fine, some people think the game is good, some people think the game is absolutely horrid, and you kind of meet up in the middle. Most people that mess around with that game think it's about a 5, 6, or 7. There's most people, I have yet to hear a person say that it deserves an 8, 9, or 10. Like they can actually articulate it besides just saying it was amazing. Like anyone that can articulate themselves to a certain degree pretty much puts it 5, 6, 7. So when it comes down to these gacha games, I think that most of them are in that range as well. I think that most gacha games inherently, and almost specifically on purpose, it's not the first time I've said this, are 5, 6, 7. That none of them are actually 8, 9, 10s, and none of them will ever be at that point. And I'm going to bring up a couple of reasons why I think that. And the first one that I want to bring up is Tales of Cristeria, or Cristoria, whatever like that. A lot of people are asking me, do I want to play that game? Not that I don't think, actually I do. I think the graphics look like shit, but the gameplay could be awesome. But bro, them graphics though, come on, we taking steps back with that right there, bro. But then again, people like certain styles. Sometimes it's purposely done that way, right? But Tales of Cristeria, right, just came out. What was another game that just came out? Sinnoh Alice came out on global. You know, probably 5 other gachas just came out. The thing that the issue that I have, one of the first issues that I have with gachas is that there are so many that cloud the market. I feel like it doesn't force a gacha to be amazing, and I hope that I can make sense of this, but it literally, just because there's so many of them, they don't have to really make a great product, because I think either they think you're gonna come in, spend some money and dip, or you're just not going to play the game at all. The reason why I think that is because a lot of these games keep going despite getting bad criticism, besides getting like ridiculed for really terrible decisions, right? They'll still just can't even push through it, and then all of a sudden you just see the game slowly, lack of updates, no new content, and then eventually within like a year or so, they're dying. I'm so happy that FG3000 started doing a series in which he started talking about gacha games that are actually failing and now shutting down. I think that it's important to note that some of these games aren't lasting past a year. So when you do see them that last a year, you should start being like, oh, what are they doing that lasts for a year? What is Summoners Wars doing that they're still around? I think they just have what I like to call the OG clause. They're just literally been there for so long. Some people just are so attached to their accounts, and there's so many of people that are so attached to the accounts that the game is still, you know, viable to play. But even that game obviously has flaws. I mean, like the difference of these are that these games are like a continual service. They're like MMOs, right? They're literally MMOs. So like they have this forever service thing. There's always going to be new added content. You'll never technically finish the game. There is no, you know, you just keep leveling up your characters and min-maxing, hoping that you can eventually get to, you know, something. But a lot of the times I feel like most players of those games don't reach that end game goal, and I feel like it's intentional. I feel like what's the purpose? And again, what is the purpose of the company investing so heavily into the game when it's likely that you're either not going to play because you just don't like it? Like, you know, like Arknights. I'm not playing Arknights. It looks like shit to me. But for the people that do play Arknights, you know, yes, there is an incentive to keep the game running. I know I'm not trying to say like, well, duh, they want to keep the game running for as long as possible. Yeah, but sometimes certain decisions they know that certain decisions that they make are gonna make people leave the game. You know, when they do something banner related, when they do something with characters, or, you know, the power creep. You know, a lot of people use that terminology as well in Gachas, the power creep, when they just start releasing strong heroes to counter the other hero that was annoying people instead of like fixing it, or when they do nerf this character. I think that that's important to note as well, because it starts to be like, instead of making a better product, they're just inching you along. I think that that's kind of how I felt with Ep.7. Why I don't really make Ep.7 that much anymore is because they started just kind of releasing characters, doing buffs and nerfs, and I've said it in videos in there too, that they just kind of like that. I don't like that they are gonna just be doing buffs and nerfs on a regular basis in a gacha game specifically. It just seemed very strange, because then it kind of came down to, they can piss you off or unleash something into the meta, make people feel a little bit happy, find ways to break in and out of it, and then kind of just switch it later on. And Ep.7 is really good. Like, they give you like Moonlight Selectors, they give you, you know, the recall ability, which is pretty good if you think about it. Like, you know, you have a character that got nerfed that you could just completely take all the resources out of that character and then push it into another character, especially another character that got buffed within that same patch. So you can kind of keep stringing you along. But at the end of the day, it's like the game itself is not, there's a lot of issues that the game itself still has, like stamina, like the ability to play for a long period of time, that they really haven't corrected. Oh, the gear system is like a fucking atrocious. But they're working on it. You still see them doing small changes, like I said, just stringing you along, before you just up and play Exos Heroes, before you up and play Arknights, before you dump both of those games and just play the new Tails game. And I think that I feel like they know that. I feel like there's not enough gachas that are striving to be the best gacha game in general. And I think that that is something that is very important to me when it comes down to why I think a lot of the gacha games fail, because I do feel like they know, like, well, whatever. If they don't want to pay the $40, they'll just go somewhere else. We know you're gonna leave anyway. Like, we can't keep lowering our prices for you. And I think that that's the argument that I get in my comment section sometimes. It's like, bro, we can't just, you know, they're not gonna bend the knee to you. Which brings me up to my second point. How come we don't have a perfect gacha by now? I think that it's very strange that certain gachas are it's pretty much, I like to call it the Burger King effect. It's the Burger King effect. The Burger King effect, where it's literally Burger King, like, slowly but surely. It's Burger King, right? Like, burger, you expect that if you're going to Burger King, you're gonna get burger stuff. But, you know, they sell chicken sandwiches. They sell mozzarella sticks. They even sell tacos. Did you know that you can go to Burger King and get tacos? They sell breakfast now. Why do you think they sell all that stuff? It's because they started to realize that if they just kind of add a little razzle dazzle from other big establishments out there, that other fast food chains, that they starting to realize that we can make that money too. Chicken tenders as well. So And it's not Burger King that just does that, but I think it's funny because Burger King says burger in it, so you would expect it to be a really good burger joint and not anything else. McDonald's can get away with it. What the fuck is a McDonald's, you know? So when I look at these gacha games, right, why don't they take the Burger King effect? Why don't they take to just add every positive thing that gacha games do and put it into one game? Why hasn't one gacha game done this? Now I know that they do keep certain practices. Some of them are gonna uphold some of the scummier tactics a little bit higher in regards, and they'll be like, oh, I like that quality of life stuff, but I don't like that. Same thing with Burger King. They don't actually take everything. I'm paraphrasing. They don't take every single idea that every single fast food chain does, but you gotta still look at it as the pity system. I've been combated about a pity system in a gacha for a long time. I've always stated this, that I came from Summoner's War. So coming from Summoner's War, we didn't have a pity system. Actually, every time a new character came out in Summoner's War, they just added to the pool of all the other characters. And when it first started, or at least when I first started Summoner's War, they didn't even have the rates. You didn't know what the rates were. Now people are so used to seeing the rates, they're just like, oh, check the rates, bro. This is 5%, 2%, 3%. Bro, back when we played Summoner's War, we assumed the rates. That was a YouTube video. Like how I break down some math sometimes like that, that was a YouTube video from people trying to gather and mathematically prove within their summons how often they got a nat 5. Like that was, and then they came out that eventually, I don't know if it was government interference per se, but eventually they had to show their rates. And it's because people should know what they're summoning for. When they're asking you to spend money for a pull, which according to FG3000, a pull is across multiple games. Now I don't play every single gacha, but he's saying a pull or something of that nature is like $24. When did that happen? That is gross. When you look at the original of a gacha is literally like $2, $3, or even like it's like $1.80 or something like that. If you look at how much a gacha costs, because they're little turn machines, they're like bubblegum machines, but a little bit more pricier because it's like a toy or something like that. So how did we get from, you know, $2 to like 20 something dollars? And it's because I personally think it's because they're highballing it that way before the people that they know are going to spend a lot more money, so they can get more bang for their buck, I guess, but not really. But if it was lower balled, you would get more money out of it, which again, there are gacha games like that, but you know, screw that gacha game. Like I said, they're going to take what they want and put that in their game. So back to what I was saying about Summoner's War, about the pity, is that they don't have a pity system. I still don't think that they have a pity system in that game. Correct me if I'm wrong. They do have a selector. Like if you get a nat 5 trigger, it chooses 2, but I think you have to have a resource for that, which is still a pretty cool idea. I think a lot of people would prefer that, even in Exos Heroes, the game that I'm currently covering, that if a faded gear pops up, sorry, not a faded gear, but a faded hero pops up, it allowed you to choose between 1 or 2 options. And it was a way for people that, especially people that played that game for so long, they had so many characters that they would get so many dupes that technically their account was so to the point where they would get a lot of dupes. And it's frustrating when the rates are so against you, and then you finally get that trigger and then it's a dupe. Even when dupes are good in a game, it's like you do want that new character. Sometimes having team variety is just a lot. It's way more important than just having a dupe of 5% more of damage or 10% more of damage. It's not that good. And speaking of 5% more damage, 10% more damage, now there's other games where the skills, to make the skills better, there's a different system for that. They make the gear better, different system for that. How you grind, auto tickets, all this stuff has been an evolution of games. FG3000 has said, oh, I hope that over the years that they start doing idle features, and a lot of these new games have idle features now. It's because it's just better. So it's weird that, I mean, I feel like we're getting close to that point, and that's what my goal is. Not that I want to be an Exos YouTuber, which is, you know, you start making content because you like the game or because it does well in your channel. People come in through that game, they think you're the messiah. Mobile messiah, hey Clint, but they think you're really, you know, that you're gonna stick with that game forever. They have no, you know, ideology that you're just doing that either for financial gain or for increased sub counts or stuff like that, or just because you really like the game at the time. But eventually you might want to move on when those other two things don't make sense. Like if you're not making any good money off the videos anymore, your sub count is dwindling because the fan base is bored and you're too scared to leave the game because you think you have to keep staying in the game. That's a very real thing, especially with Twitch and YouTube, that people just kind of get to this thing where they feel like they have to stay in the game. I can't mediate from it. If I make another video about something else, everyone's gonna hate me. And trust me, it's a real thing. You guys, we watch our numbers. Most YouTubers, most Twitchers, they watch the numbers, they try to critique themselves, they try to eventually want to move on, but it's a scary thing. So my goal in general is I want to play that gacha game, the gacha game that has a good pity system, that has a good hero obtaining system, that has good quality of life, that just does everything right. And of course, that's everything is very greedy, right? But I want a game where they get a lot of the stuff right. And the gripes that I have of the game, same thing like I just said with Last of Us, the same thing I say about any game, are minimal at best. My favorite games in the world, like when someone asks me in the 4K video, what is your favorite game? And I said something, along the lines of Ratchet and Clank, or I might have said Metal Gear or something of that nature. Those games aren't perfect. Those games aren't even the best game. If you put me and made me play the best game I've ever played, I will still point out issues with the game, because no game is going to be perfect. But we are playing these games, and the difference between a gacha game and most console games is that, one, they have an end. They eventually will end, so you can judge it for what it is. These games pretty much can last forever as long as they want to keep the servers going. Knights Chronicles, a lot of people dropped that game, even though I kept it. They made a decision with the costume gate. I stuck around after it because I didn't think it was too bad of a deal. It was really bad, but I thought, the costumes don't really bother me. They don't affect the game to a degree where I think that I shouldn't play the game anymore. And I stuck to it. And even when I decided to quit, the game's still around. The game still stayed around. Why? Because they must have a decent player base that still plays the game, especially because of how popular Knights Chronicles was, and they're still around. They haven't shut down their servers. I think they're on their 2nd year anniversary or something like that. And good for them. Good for the people that still enjoy the game. I think that game had a lot of beautiful systems, and the reason why I stuck with it is because of how free-to-play friendly that game was. That only time I ever felt the need to spend money was like a collab event, which is pretty on par. I think that's a time where you want to spend money. I think that it's okay in that regard. Like even the Summer Festa event right now in Exos Heroes, I think that that's something that you should want to spend money, but then you look at how much money they're asking you for to enjoy it, then that's when the issue comes in. When you make it unreasonable for most people, where it's like, bro, this is not that, this game has the graphic fidelity, this game does not have the gameplay of something that's gonna take $90 from me, even though I've spent that, right? Just because I feel like I'm a YouTuber, so me spending on the game kind of will come back to me over the course of several videos. But I can't expect another person to spend $90 on a gacha game when I don't think that most gacha games deserve $90 for certain things. Maybe over time $90, over time $100, over time, but through small purchases to enjoy something that's in the game. And I think that's huge to me. That's huge to me. So even when you're playing a subpar game, right, and you still want to support it because you spent so much time in it and you like it, that's going to be my third issue, is how the games are monetized. And I think that they're doomed to fail because if for some reason they just never get monetization right. I feel like most games, you just come across stuff that just doesn't seem like they're a good deal. They honestly don't seem like they feel good. They don't feel predatory. And I hate when people pretend as though that it's like they don't understand. Like when you play a gacha game, especially a really popular one, Exos Heroes is really popular, Arknight is really popular. I don't know how big Tales is, but these games get marketed to hell. 7 Deadly Sins, marketed to hell. These games are going to pull in a lot of new people that are on Instagram, that are on YouTube, and they're just gonna get a advertisement and they're gonna be in there. Why do you think that, and you guys probably don't know, because what are the odds that people read the comment section of a YouTuber that read their comments, right? How are there still people that are like, how do you do that? How do you do this? Oh, I don't know how that works. And half of the time I'm like, read, bitch. Read. I'm like, bro, just read. Now, so I do, like I've said before, these games are intentionally confusing because they want to confuse a person, so that when you get into the game and they're just, let's take Excel's Heroes for example. You got ZEUZ, right? Which is, you know, you got ZEUZ, you have crystals, you have Levin stones, because you don't want to call it stamina. That'd be too easy. You have gold. Hey, that's nice and easy. You have multiple different like upgrade materials from. Now we have circles, now we have, you know, the faded gear, we have the relics, you have all these weird fucking names of stuff, and it just sometimes, and they're from different areas and different challenges and different dungeons, and it's overwhelming information. And then every time, and you guys know it, don't fuck around like you don't know what I'm talking about, is when you get stuck with something, or, you know, what happens? Hot deal pops up. Hot deal pops up and they show you how much. I remember someone in my Discord showed me a hot deal that when I literally broke it down, just because I happened to have bought a pack, that I was like, no, that deal's terrible. You can, there's something in the game that's actually better than that deal in the game, and they still popped it in the face of one of my Discord members as a hot deal. It was ridiculous. And they're not expecting, like I said, they're not expecting you to mathematically stuff out. That's why it's a technique that they put in these games. That's why they never say, you know, if you want a character, it's $25. You'll never hear them say that. Not here, but you'll never see them say that. You'll never see them just correlate it that easily. They'll do it for the fake cores, or they'll do it for skins and other gachas, or they'll do it for certain stuff, but they want to detach you from the money. It's a common practice to do it by making you spend money on a separate currency, and that currency buys something else. It's a way to detach yourself from how much money you're spending. That's why even when I technically got caught with it too. I was like, when you guys saw me with the cumulative purchase one, I didn't know how much money I spent. They just tell me that, you know, once you get to 30,000 crystals, you're gonna get this selector, and it's like, oh sweet, I'll get that, and you just start spending money, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, what did I spend money on? How much money did I even spend? And that's the thing, you can even go over the spending limit, but all that thing is gonna tell you is that, oh, I finally got the 30K. So it's weird how monetization, it just always seems very predatory, even when you're aware of it. I'm very aware of most of the predatory things that are in these games. Just keep in mind that a lot of new players are coming in. This might be their first or second gacha, and since, like I said, a lot of gachas do different things, that just because one has the hot deals popping up all the time, another one might not. I think Ep.1 doesn't have like hot deals. I don't think that they have all this popping up stuff that pops up and stuff, things like that. I don't think that they have that, at least like nothing that I can remember, right? Other games do. And then people might think that, oh, the game is actually giving me a hot deal. They're giving me a really reasonable price of this thing. Oh, how much does it cost to get that? And they're like $20 something, and then they're like, ah, that sounds pretty good, I don't mind spending. And just to recap is, I think that we should take every single good thing that we like. And obviously not everyone thinks everything is a good thing. If you want, I can do a whole list. That can be another video of all the list of things that are in gacha games that are actually really good. One of them, like I said, pity summoning. Two, don't require resources to take off gear. Seven Deadly Sins, what is that, the only game that does that? It's probably not, but it's ridiculous to when you have a game. There's not even a blacksmith in some of these games, yet they'll literally take your money or whatever resource in the game to remove gear, though it's not going towards anything. No, who's taking this money? who's taking it? At least have a blacksmith in the game to be like, hey, in order to take that gear off, for some reason, I need the money to do it. Or when you have these crafting systems that don't even let you craft specifically what you want. It's like, who the fuck goes to a blacksmith and is like, hey bro, here's all these hard-earned resources, we've been killing 16,000 dragons, we finally got enough of their dragon scales that you should be able to make this epic sword. And be like, sweet bro, alright, so I'm gonna go forge this shit down, and it's gonna come out as one of 4 things. What the fuck? What you mean it's one of 4 things? bro, you're a blacksmith. I want you to forge like sometimes usually they just be like, well, if you want that, you want the selector, you know, you got to spend that money. But I think that everything that's been deemed good, overall good in a gacha game should just be compiled in one gacha, so we can all just jump ship on all these subpar gachas and just go to that one, because that one deserves it all, man. It deserves it all. Good monetization, good quality of life, good, you know, just good whatever. If you guys want my list, I'll give you my list. You tell me in the comment section you want my list of everything that I think is good in the gacha game. I'm not gonna go through it in this video because that should be enough to mention it. The other thing, like I said, of too many gachas is that I kind of don't want people to just gacha hop all day. What I mean by that is that, like, when one gacha game gets slightly bad, I feel like you should try to stick with the game and make it work. I know some people are on the thing, if you don't like it, get out of it, but there's so many gachas out there that I feel like these gacha companies don't really need to work on their game to that extent, that some of them will make the illusion of making it seem as though they care very deeply, very greatly, but at the end of the day they still push the same stuff that they know that you're not gonna like to a certain extent. It kind of piggybacks off that first thing, is like that first game. If you present me with a game that has a lot of great, amazing things going for it, I'm gonna stay in that game. I'm not gonna just go bounce off to the next game. And I think that that's the problem right now, is that people are playing like 5 of these games, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, some fighting game players play multiple games. Why can't a guy that enjoys gacha, why can't he play multiple games? But I'm the type of person where I want to just play the best. I don't have time in my life. I think a lot of people, I actually looked at the demographic of my channel, is that a lot of people are in their 20s and 30s, you know, so like we don't have the time to be sitting here playing 3 to 4 gachas. You know, like, we want to play the one, and we want to have really good quality of life, and that's only going to come from people sitting in a game and trying to make it the best and working with the devs as a community to make it better. That's how these games get better. They don't get better from you just leaving 1-star reviews and then just saying, well, fuck this game, I'm just gonna go to this other game because their honeymoon phase is better. And last but not least, monetization. That one's gonna be the hardest one, because, you know, when it comes down to when that perfect gacha comes down, and yes, I know perfect as in like near perfect gacha, how are they gonna do monetization? Because sometimes a lot of these games are really good until you start breaking down the monetization. I think that they have to, I do think, tone it down a little bit. If every gacha, like I said, FG has more experience on that. If every gacha it's like $24-25 to do a pull, a multi, I think that alone, because that's like a baseline, right? So like that alone is a little bit too much. I think that needs to be toned down. I think that the game needs to be more geared towards casual spending, because that's where the majority of the community is. Allow whales to do some whale stuff, of course, you know, but it's very hard to allow people to have superiority over you but still feel good in your game. It's hard to do that. It's not an easy task, because if you're hoping that the whales support the game, right? I think maybe this should be one gacha where the whales don't. That maybe the game is actually supported by the middle class, but like the low end middle spenders that are just spending $10 over the course of weeks. You think that with the 7 banners coming in Exos Heroes, if it was $10 to finish off each banner, that they wouldn't make $70 off like every player? You think that I would do it. $70, easy cakes, easy money. But when you think that you can get 20, not even $20, I think it's like $90. No, it's even more than that. A week to finish off a banner, like, because I'm talking about like you have some resources but you need more. I think that comes off as greedy. And I think that if you just change that, again, you change it from pay money to obtain once instead of pay money to obtain 2 or 3, 4 times, then I think that's a little bit easier. Let the whales get everything multiple times and have the strongest units and the dupes and stuff like that. That's fine to me. Give them the cosmetics. Let them drip out their characters. Let them drip out their accounts. But make sure that even the $10, $20 person can get a decent amount of stuff too. Just let the whales just get a lot more. That's all you have to do. I feel like that's a very easy concept, but you know, doing it in the right way might be, you know, obviously I'm not looking at the finances, but I do see the finances of these companies making millions of dollars, like like so much money. And if you look at the game, like if you look at these summer skins, like a lot of this stuff is already pre-built into the game. Talking about Exos Heroes here, the summer event just dropped, right? They're gonna expand the work that it took to make the 7 characters over the course of 7 weeks, with hopes that people get pretty much caught into snags and go into their monetization system. That's why they're doing that. It would benefit us that it's just one banner, but that would benefit us too greatly. So I think that there needs to obviously be some type of middle ground. That's neither here nor there. And every game has it. I'm just using Exos because a lot of people are from Exos. They probably can relate better to that, but I'm pretty sure people can bring examples from the games that they play, or give me an example of a game that you're playing, a gacha game that you're playing that knocks it out of the park. I would love to hear that as well too. But of course, guys, what I'm gonna be doing is that you guys drop in there your opinions. I'm gonna take some possibly that I like, some that I don't like. I'm pretty sure people aren't gonna 100% agree with what the fuck I'm saying. So if you wanna be Rebel Randy, and be like, fuck you, you're wrong, gacha games are perfect, you son of a bitch, feel free, but hopefully it's your genuine opinion. But I want to do another video, the M.F.O. This is M.F.O. my opinion, and I'm going to do a UFO version where it's going to be me taking a couple comments and talking about what that person said, and trying to give back to the community and talk back to the community of my channel, pretty much, because my channel is going to grow. I'm going to dive into other things besides gacha games as well, and I want to see how you guys feel about that. If you guys don't know, a lot of you guys hear that for 5K, my channel started off like that. That was actually how my channel started, was about having discussions about games. So it's gonna I want to get back to that to a certain degree, even if it's like once a week, M.F.O. episode once a week or something like that. We'll figure it out. If you guys want this, maybe bi-daily, sounds so stupid, on a more regular basis, we'll figure that out too. You guys will be the judge. How many likes this video gets, how many views, it's gonna be, I'm judging that off you guys. Anywho, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and of course, every day at the casino is your lucky day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.